Okay, this is part two of the video I did earlier showing you what coins I'm going to send off. And this video, the first part, is probably going to make a lot of you nervous. I cut out a lot of it because when you crack plastic, it snaps loudly, and that's part of it, but it's not damaging the coin. You just have to be very careful when you're doing this. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're not used to seeing coins cracked out of the holders, you might want to skip that part. I am as careful as I can be. Like I said, I've got a lot of experience, so stay tuned for that. And then I'm going to show you the coins after I did a little restore on them and show you the results of that. So after that, then the part 3 video is going to be when they come back from NGC and the actual reveal of what NGC thought of the coins. So stay tuned. Okay, so I have these coins, and PCGS is the most brittle plastic. You can crack these out fairly easily by using the pliers and cracking the edges and then pulling it apart. One thing about this is I recommend wearing gloves. You can cut yourself in this plastic. You also should have it in something because plastic can often fly off in different directions sometimes. It just depends. And you want to be careful about it because, I mean, it can be dangerous to cracking these out. It's plastic, and it is, like I said, you're using a lot of pressure and force. Over the years, I've learned little techniques, and on a lot of the NGCs, you can usually hit it on the edges with a hammer, which is what I'll do. Once you get the edge broke here, I have on my pliers a pair, and you've got to be careful because it is so easy to damage these coins. And I'm sure if I'm here at the shop, if I was at the house, you can use like a table saw and actually cut it so that your coin's not getting damaged. You can cut it across, you can cut the edge off and try to get so you can pry it in here. So I went ahead and put gloves on. It is a proof coin, and this is the proof mercury dime that I was showing you. I'm going to look at it close. But you want to get rid of any of the debris. Now, if you want to keep that, that's fine. As a reminder, you can actually tell NGC you broke it out later on. I mean, if you want to do that. A lot of people want to know about that. Most resubmissions are not reported to the grading companies. So I've got that one. I'm going to do a couple more here. A lot of times you have to play with it a little bit and be very patient when you're doing this, because it is so easy if you're not careful. And a lot of people, is really scared to do this. I've done it for so long that it's not so scary, but I still have, some concerns. And I try my best to, the pressure's away from the coin. At this point, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference exactly. And like I said, the NGC holders are just a little bit different. Not always, like I said, trying to really give but everybody has their own techniques, and someone will look at my technique and say, man, you're scary. Well, I've not damaged the coin yet. And a lot of that's got to do with the fact that I'm very careful. I know what direction to apply the pressure as far away from the coin as I possibly can. And like I said right there, as you can see, pieces are flying. They'll fly if you're not careful. But what you want to get inside where you can pry. So I got my little pry piece here. And that's a literal crack out. But there's the coins. Now I'm going to show you these coins after I did a little restore. I'm not showing you how I do the restore because I've already done a couple videos on that. I encourage you to search my channel and watch those videos. I didn't want these videos to be extremely long, for one thing, and another thing, I've already done it. Unless a new technique comes along that I use, like I said, I use EasyEst,
and I use my years of experience on coins that is not a 100% perfect in the first place. So what I want to do is I want to show you some things about the coins that I did that to. So here is the 1911 Barber quarter that was graded Mint State 64. Now, if you remember, it was a really dark coin and it had a very dark splotch right in front of the face. It still does. There is a surface disturbance that caused that to happen on this coin. It does look better, but this is never going to be a bright white coin. And I examined it closely. It's possible that it could get unk details now because of the fact that that was missed because that toning was on it. Now, I'm not 100%. Like I said, I looked at it really close. And, you know, there are some diaphragm lines, but you just never know on just a little tiny spot, if they see just a little rub, that they could cause that to be unk details. You know, I looked at the coin before I even considered cracking it out and restoring it. It will sell better raw like this than it would in that holder with the brown. So I'm not too worried about it. And another thing, that I have that 83S and I have that 2011 MS70 double die eagle, and also have that 80O that I was confident about. But those are the three anchor coins. One of those coins will pay for this submission profit-wise. So I don't worry too much about it. Like I said, I'm going to make a mistake, and it seems like every time you have a submission, you get back what we call a head scratcher. It just happens. Sometimes you just miss it. We want our coins to be worth more. We want them to grade higher. We're all hyped up and amped up. And then when we get them back, you start seeing why it probably wasn't what you thought it was. It just happens. And don't switch your coins. It's not what's going on. I'm not saying a mistake don't happen, but it's not an ongoing thing. So this is the 80O that I was hoping had a lot of potential. Well, sometimes coins tone weird like that because they've been over dipped. And that's a possibility in this case. I could have sold the coin as a Mint State 63 plus or maybe a 63. Now I'm going to leave it up to the designs of NGC, and I'm going to show you what it looks like now. This is the coin out of the holder. Now it looks okay. It looks better than it did in the holder, and obviously the bright light on my camera doesn't help much either. So all I can hope for is that it's original enough for NGC's graders and that it's Mint State enough. In other words, they don't perceive some wear. I don't know. I mean, when I look at it now, you know, it looks nice, but it's not going to get higher than 63. And more than likely, it might be 62. But whatever was on the surface was not natural in that coin. I don't feel bad about removing it because of the fact that it was in an ICG holder, and I didn't know about the grade, but it's not going to get a 64. So that's one thing that I was wrong about. The 80cc, that was proof-like, very nice, and it was extremely dark, and it still had the dip residue on the reverse. If you remember how dark it looked, if you go back to the other video and take a look at what these coins look like in those holders. Then lastly, I have the Mercury dime, and it's not going to get a cameo. I pulled it out because of the fact that it looked hazy, and you get that a lot with proofs because of where they were released, what they were housed in, the cello. A lot of them would tone and get the haze on them. All I can hope for, since it was in an old fatty holder, which I call that for NGC, they were a little more conservative back then, at least it's thought they were, that possibly it could get a 65. But I like the coin better, and I guarantee you it will look so much better in a new holder after I removed that film off the coin. So I'm happy with it. Probably a couple of these is not what I really wanted to see. I kind of knew there was a possibility of that happening because I've done this before. This is just something that I do. You take your chances and you try the best you can. And like I said, you always have your anchor coins, 2 or 3 coins is going to pay for the submission cost. And then after that, you don't have any submission costs on the rest of your coins. That's how I do it. It's called hedging. I hedge a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the process of submitting this coin. And the reason is because I'm going to resubmit in the holder, and I'm going to do variety attribution. I'm not going to do a video for the whole entire submission because I've already did a video on that. You can go watch that. I'll put a link down in the description for you. I will also have a link up here here in this area of the video for you. And you can watch how to submit coins. But this one's a little more complicated, something I've not done on video, so I'll do that for you. So the first thing that you want to do is type in ngccoin.com. You come over here to coin grading, and it has all the services, how much it costs you, the holders and labels you can use, the grading process. Then you click on the grading process, and it explains a little bit about the how they grade and some things about the coins. Then over here there's a submit button. You have services and fees. You come over here and you can take a look at how much it costs you to send off coins, for whatever reason or what years. And a lot of people ask me the question, how do I know what value to put on a coin? Well, I typically put on the coin what I've got in it. If NGC determines that your coin is worth more, and let's say we're talking in the rare range, like this one here, and it's over 3,000, they will charge you more. They will contact you, they will send you another invoice, and you just pay more on it. It's no big deal. Everybody makes mistakes. Some people undershoot and overshoot, but the best thing to do is just that you can determine what you think that coin might grade, maybe put that value on it. It's really simple. It's not worth getting all bent out of shape over. It's real easy to do. So here's submission forms. If you don't want to do it online, you want to print off a submission form, you can do the fileable at PDF or online US coins. Now I use the online version. I think it's a lot more streamlined to do it that way. So here we have, this is my shop address. I would rather things go to my P.O. box. Sometimes they won't let you put your P.O. box, so we'll see if it's, I can't remember if it's NGC or PCGS. So this is what I want to do. It is a modern coin, okay, because we got a 2011. So we're straight up at $17. Okay, now I can choose another tier so I get it back quicker, but just put the $17 on it. I want to put Variety Plus. So in the services, I'm picking Variety Plus for 15, not regrade or reholder or anything, because I want to make sure that the Variety Plus is clicked. It costs $12, I think, to reholder the coin. They'll go ahead and charge me that because later on here I'll put my credit card in and they'll just send me another invoice and say there's an extra charge. That's no big deal, but I want to make sure I get the Variety Plus selected. That's the most important thing. Okay, and on the coin, let's see, it's a early release. I'm not sure whether I'll have to pay for it to be reholder. I'm going to go ahead and click that so that they pay attention. And they may not charge me, they may charge me. Like I said, the NGC is one of the companies that definitely will get a hold of you if there's some type of charge that need to be added or subtracted. So I have one coin, and the date is 2011. Net mark is actually none, but it's a P because it's Philadelphia, and that's what that means. The nomination is $1 for a Silver Eagle, and it is MS. See, the MS proof, they use PF for proof that are different than PCGS. And then it's the double die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, DDO. And I do the Variety Plus attribution. And we did certification number. And, I'm going to say the value, let's just do, I've seen a 69 go for about 200, so I'm going to go $200. So we'll see what happens here. I'm doing that because it is a 70 coin, and I don't want to change in that direction. I think that if I crack it out, that's a possibility. So anyways, I'll fill out all this information. I acknowledge this, and I'll submit my order. And then once you do that, you're going to send it registered mail and insured, and you just insure it for whatever you put in there as the value of it. And like I said, you're basically guessing on the value. So that's my video for today, and thanks for watching it. And look for number 3. There's going to be 3 parts in this one, and I'm going to do a reveal on all these coins, and we'll see what they graded.
And I may even add a couple as a surprise, just to have some fun. Some of them I didn't mention in here. I'm doing this for fun. Okay, I'm doing this to share with you guys, to show you the insides, the mistakes, and show you the good and the bad. You know, I'm not trying to be perfect here. I'm not trying to show off my greatness in grading or my greatness in cracking out coins. I'm just doing my thing. I'm enjoying it. I love this hobby. I love sharing, and I'm just letting you see what I would do anyways. I'm just putting my camera on it. So, have a great day.